Hi, I'm Will Courtney from Circle Health, and welcome to another episode of Complete Connected Care, where we hope to connect you with a healthier lifestyle. At Circle Health, we want to keep you healthy and out of the hospital, and we do that in a number of different ways. One of those ways is by connecting you with health and wellness programs, which we promote in For Your Health, our award-winning magazine that lands in mailboxes 3 times a year. In the back of this magazine, you're going to find 4 pages full of programs from fitness to parenting, managing disease, and many others. Among the most popular of those programs is Tai Chi and Qigong, which use flowing movements and rhythmic breathing to offer an array of health benefits, from a peaceful mind to improved strength and balance. It can even boost your immune system. The teacher of those classes is Westford's own Dave Crocker. He's going to tell us today about his inspiring story of how these ancient Chinese practices helped him overcome a stroke and changed his life forever. We'll be right back with Dave. Welcome back to Complete Connected Care. I'm here with Dave Crocker of Westford. Dave, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Will.
Dave's business is Cultivating Chi. I got it right?
You did.
And you've been, you're based here in Westford.
Yes.
And how long have you been doing Tai Chi and Qigong?
11 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you kind of have an interesting story about how you came into this lifestyle.
I had a life-altering event back in 2005. And I had a mild stroke that affected my balance and my speech. And for a year and a half, I tried to solve the problem myself, unsuccessfully. And my wife suggested that we take a Tai Chi class because she had heard that it's good for regaining balance. And to make a long story short, I tried it out. I loved the gentle movements, the rhythmic deep breathing, the meditative state you're able to get yourself in, and the basic philosophy behind the form of Tai Chi that I learned of living in the moment.
Well, and it really changed your life, right? You even got you to change careers.
It certainly did. Over a period of about 3 years, I extracted myself from the high-tech industry and started my own company, educating and training people in Qigong and Tai Chi, so that hopefully they can benefit from the same goals that I had set for myself.
Right. And I know that sometimes a barrier for people to find this kind of practice is just a little bit of knowledge. There's some confusion around what Qigong and Tai Chi is. Maybe we should start with what the Qi is, because that's a big similarity throughout this.
That's a very important question. Qi is your life force, the energy that makes you alive as a human being. It's everywhere. It's in the earth, in the sky, in the water we drink, the food we eat, the air we breathe. Imagine a fish swimming through the ocean. It picks up oxygen out of the water. It doesn't know the water's there. It's just swimming through the environment. We do a similar thing. We move through our environment, and we pick up Qi energy as we move. And these gentle movements that have a lot of stretching involved with it are very healthy for both the physical body and the mental state and your emotional state.
And Qi it's an intangible in a sense, but do you feel your Qi? If somebody said, well, what does my Qi feel like?
Your Qi is present all the time. I imagine most people have experienced playing with magnets before, where you take 2 magnets and you try to push them together, and if it's opposite poles, they attract. If you put the same poles, they reject each other. Well, our bodies are energetic bodies, and they have fields around them, much like the magnets. Mm-hmm. And so when you bring your hands close together and you separate them, there's actually a field interaction, field around each part of your body. That's basically how you move your Qi energy through your body, is by putting your hands close to your body and moving your hands across your body.
Okay.
Like a self-massage almost.
Sure. And so there's certainly physical benefits to this, to Tai Chi and Qigong, but the idea is to combine that with the mental part. And really, for many people, it's that mental piece that truly lures them in. Is that right?
That is correct. The toughest thing in our lives is we spend most of our time during the day externally focused. Our five senses are absorbing a huge amount of information constantly, and your brain is trying to deal with all of that information. It focuses very little on yourself during the day. The purpose of Tai Chi, Qigong, and other arts like yoga, they allow you the time to shift that focus from external to internal. The benefit of focusing internally, your mind is allowed to relax, to quiet down. And as it relaxes and quiets down, the body then can quiet down. It can relax. And qi flows most smoothly through a relaxed body. A tense body blocks qi flow. In fact, Qigong and Tai Chi are part of traditional Chinese medicine, along with acupuncture, tuina, and herbal medicine. Doctors in China feel that all illness is a result of poor qi flow in the body, either inadequate levels of qi or the qi is adequate in the body, it's just blocked from movement because of tension in the body.
So now you have your own practice, your own studio, and we also you work with Circle Health. At Circle Health, we do quite a bit of classes, and we have this magazine For Your Health that shows up with all your other flyers in your mail 3 times a year, and we promote these classes through that and other ways as well, and on our website at circlehealth.org and lowellgeneral.org. And so you've been kind enough to work with us to do those classes. And what if somebody was to join one of these classes, what can they expect? How long do they go, and how do you adapt to different levels of experience and strength?
Well, typically our classes run either 4 or 8 weeks. We'll offer to any organization or group of people, 5 or more. We'll do a free interactive demonstration to give you a taste of Qigong and Tai Chi to see if it's something you might like to pursue. The classes vary in length based on the complexity of the Tai Chi or Qigong form that we're teaching. We stay at a fairly high level. We want you to quickly learn the form so that the stress of the learning process, and it is stressful to learn something new, once you get over that hump and you start to relax and enjoy the movement itself, that's when the benefit to the mind and body really maximizes.
This really is something that almost anyone of almost any age can do. Is that true?
That is correct, yeah.
Because it's not physically, I mean, there's physical demand to it, but at the end of a class, you feel more refreshed, or do you feel tired, or is there a combination?
It's funny you ask that question. You would think any kind of physical movement is going to drain energy from your body, and of course it does. But because of the deep breathing, the abdominal breathing as it's called, that we practice when we're doing these movements, it actually increases the amount of oxygen you're getting into your bloodstream. People who take a Tai Chi or Qigong class on a regular basis find out that they have more energy at the end of class than they did at the beginning of class.
Well, and that's partly because that breathing is an important part of this, is that right?
Absolutely.
How does that play into, you're doing these physical movements, but how does breathing play into all of that?
Breathing, typically we don't focus too strongly on it because there's enough stress learning the particular movement itself. But once you begin learning the particular movement, we'll tie the breathing into it. And the type of breathing we ask people to do is to inhale through their nose for approximately 4 to 5 seconds on the inhale, and then 4 to 5 seconds on the exhale, exhaling through your mouth. The reason we do that, there are meridian systems in the body where the qi flows. And there are separate meridians in the nasal passages and in the roof of the mouth. So we want the air to pass over both sets of meridians to gain maximum benefit.
Okay, interesting. Now, we're using 2 different terms here, Qigong and Tai Chi. You'll see both of those classes in our For Your Health or in our health and wellness listings. Can you help people understand the difference and who might be better suited for one or the other?
Sure. Qigong is 5,000 years old, and it is the core of traditional Chinese medicine. the movement, the preventive part of Chinese medicine. That's one big difference between Eastern medicine and Western medicine. Eastern medicine tends to focus more on prevention, where Western medicine focuses more on, I know you got a problem, let's cure it, and find the best ways to do that. That's why you're seeing such a blending of the two cultures through the desire to be a healthy society and to heal quicker.
Right.
So Qigong itself is a simple movement done repetitively. For example, a movement we'll do a little later is called Dantian breathing. We hold an imaginary ball. It's actually an energy ball. We separate our hands very slowly, inhaling through our nose. We come back, exhale through our mouth as we come back and hold the energy ball. And we'll do that several times. The motion is just repetitive, very simple, so it's quick to learn. The problem with it is because it's quick to learn, you get bored. The mind gets bored and starts to wander off. We want the mind to stay focused internally. And so for those people who have a problem with a wandering mind, Tai Chi is the better answer because it's a more complicated movement. Tai Chi can be thought of in simple terms as a series of Qigong movements linked together into a dance. It takes a fair amount of time to learn any of the Tai Chi forms. We typically don't teach it unless we're seeing somebody at least 1 hour a week, and many times it's 2 or 3 hours a week. But once you've learned the form, you get into this meditative state, and because of the complexity of the movement, you stay in that meditative state and your mind doesn't get bored. So it's really a contrast between who you are as an individual and what your needs are that particular day.
One thing I thought was interesting is about some of the benefits of this. I mean, stress reduction is a natural one, right? But really, as you were talking about with sort of Chinese medicine, they even say this can be a boost to your immune and things like that.
Absolutely.
For somebody who has trouble making that connection, how would you explain that? I mean, is it really just that life force and trying to, that allows more oxygen in, things like that?
Well, the way I explain it to my classes is when we're born as babies, we are totally internally focused. We worry about 3 critical things. Are our stomachs full? Are our pants dry? And are we warm? If those 3 needs are met, we're kind of happy campers. If any of those 3 vary, we start complaining. As we move through our life and age, we get more and more externally focused as we achieve the goals that we set out for ourselves and our relationships. At this point in my life anyways, I was so externally focused when I had my stroke that was the problem. Stress and those types of factors were overloading my body with external stimulus that my body just couldn't deal with it at the point in my life.
Well, did you find that once you started doing this, what were some of the physical benefits you got out of it? Did you feel, and obviously mentally it changed everything for you, but did physically it have some impact?
Physically, I felt just more at peace. There's a term they use called being grounded, and or centered is another term. It just feels like you're in sync with who you're supposed to be rather than being out of sync with who you're supposed to be.
And that comes from that idea of being rooted, right?
Exactly.
And maybe tell people a little bit about what being rooted is, because there's sort of the physical piece of that and the sort of symbolic piece of that.
So in a lot of the Qigong movements, we'll stand in a fixed position for extended periods of time. The physical impact of that is blood tends to settle to your feet, and you'll start feeling heat, some tingling in your feet, and so on. What most people don't realize is that you also make a stronger connection. It's as if you were a tree that had been planted and you're trying to place your roots, send your roots deeper into the earth to gain more and more energy into your body. And it happens fairly quickly. In an hour class of Qigong class, where you're standing in a fixed position for most of the class, you will actually feel this rooted sensation as if there were roots coming out of the soles of your feet.
And to the point where you can be difficult, like people can't move you in a sense, and you really are sort of, your energy is going right down in.
Well, you were telling me a story earlier about a martial arts master who you could not physically move because he rooted himself.
It was on this show, and he was about a foot shorter than me, and he had been doing this for 30 years, and it was incredible. He was so strong that there was no moving him, and which really spoke to me about how that whole concept of the energy going down. I should be able to move somebody who's smaller than me, but that wasn't the case. What is it about, this man told me it took him, it's really a lifetime. Nobody truly masters it, even maybe the great masters, but why, there's always something to learn, right?
The key reason there's always something to learn is we are physically, mentally, and emotionally constantly changing. So what worked today may work for a couple of days, may work for a week, may work for a month. But at some point, those changes that are happening within your body are going to change whether or not this particular movement is going to be helpful to you. And so you constantly need to be, it's like a Chinese buffet. You need to constantly sample the various things that are offered to find what works this particular day.
And once you have learned it to a certain extent, you're going to show us in a couple of minutes here about things that you can even do for 5, 10, 15 minutes that could be just a break from your workday, a way to sort of hit the reset button, right?
It's a reset button, absolutely. I used to use it at work. I didn't realize I was using it, but basically I would do deep breathing just for 5 minutes, just to bring my overall stress level down to something that was manageable at that point in my life. I didn't realize that was only one component of a fairly simple yet very integrated solution to my problem.
That's amazing. So we will be right back in a minute. Dave's going to show us a couple of quick moves that we can kind of learn and give people a sense of what this is about. So we'll be right back. Okay, we're back with Dave Crocker of Cultivating Chi of Westford. Dave's going to show us a couple of moves, give you a sense of what Tai Chi is and how it works. So show me how to do this, Dave.
Well, the first move we're going to do is called Dantian breathing. A Dantian is an energy storage area in your body. You have 3 of them, one here, and one here. Well, we start holding an imaginary ball about 6 inches from your navel.
Now, about stance-wise, I should feet flat on the ground?
Shoulder width apart,
good
roughly.
Posture?
Yeah, good posture. Separate the hands out as you breathe in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Come back and hold the ball. Inhale. Exhale. You typically do them 9 times. We're going to move to the next Dantian, up at chest level. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now move it up to the forehead. Inhale. What these movements are doing are gathering chi energy from the air, pulling them into our storage areas. Inhale. Exhale. And relax. As I said earlier, chi energy moves through the body in a variety of ways. This next movement is called 10-part breathing. This one is going to take some chi energy from your lower dantian and it's going to move it throughout your body. We start with our hands 2 inches from our thighs. Slowly move the hands up the thighs, up the front of the body. When they get to the shoulders, we rotate the palms, scrunch the fingers down, push the hands up, watch the hands go up. Hands open, lean back slightly, come forward slowly, swing the arms down towards the earth. You don't need to touch the ground. When they get down next to your legs, trace the outside of your legs, up the sides of your upper body, under the arms, across the chest, push straight out, arms separate, Flutter like a bird. Hug a tree, it's a big tree. Pull chi into your heart. Hands face your lap, push down. Hands move out to the sides. Bring the hands back to the center line of the body. Move the hands up towards the ceiling. Watch your hands go up. Arms separate. Palms rotate. Lean forward slightly. Bring your palms in front of your knees. 4 small circles in front of your knees, gathering energy from the earth. Pull the energy up through your feet, legs, upper body, head. Reach up, gather heaven energy. Arms separate, go up on your toes, gather, go flat-footed, pull the energy down, pull it through your body, filling the 3 dantians, and relax. You would typically do that move 3 times.
And the up and down is, like you were saying, pulling different parts of your body, getting different parts of your body involved.
It's doing multiple things. You're opening the joints, the various joints. Yeah. Joints can be blockages to the body. So opening the joints, not locking them. A locked joint blocks chi flow. Mm-hmm. That's part of it. And then the magnet theory, the field around your hand moving close to your body is moving the chi energy through your body.
And actually, so Reiki is similar to that,
Reiki,
right? So
is very similar to it, yes.
Energy through.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
Great. And so, and it's important to be breathing through that.
Entire time, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. One more Qigong movement would be a draw up earth chi. We reach down in front of us, gather chi energy from the earth, inhale through the nose, pull the energy up through your body, out through the top of your head, exhale through the mouth, let it shower down around you. And reach down and gather more. Pull it up. Out the top of the head, exhale, let it shower down around your body.
Got it.
So again, simple movements, that's Qigong. Mm-hmm.
So, okay.
Done repetitively.
And so that's why you were saying doing those over and over for that person who may want a little more activity, a little more motion,
yeah.
Tai Chi.
You can see how you might get bored pretty quickly just
doing that over
right?
and over. Because that you'll do that for, again, how long is a Qigong class?
Typically, a class is an hour long, but it's an hour long so we can share different forms, so people can pick the type of movement that they find most comfortable and pleasing to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, is a lot of it seated, the Qigong?
I'd say most of it is standing. Standing.
Something that can be done seated if needed.
Yeah.
But
the nice thing about seated, and why I chose to demonstrate that today, is most people are in an environment where they're seated a lot of the day. And rather than have to get up and go somewhere to do a particular movement, here's some simple movements you can do to reset your body physically, mentally, emotionally, so you can tackle the rest of the day from a fresh starting point.
Yeah, now, you had talked about how this helped you with balance. How would that translate into helping someone with their balance?
So in the standing form of Tai Chi is where the balance improvement comes, because you're shifting your weight from one foot to the other, many times lifting one foot off the ground to do a particular movement as you're doing it. That's where the balance improvement would come from, physically. Mentally and emotionally, seated Tai Chi is just as good, and Qigong just as good as standing version. Yep.
And in terms of what ages do you typically see in your classes?
I'd say the vast majority of people are somewhere in their late 30s to, we've got people over 100 years old doing Qigong and Tai Chi.
Is that right? Wow.
It really is the point in their life when something is telling them that they need to do something different.
Right.
To get on a new path that is going to energize them. And this could be the path.
I think as people get older that they start to feel those things, and even those simple stretches. I mean, do you find you ever get sore muscles from this?
Absolutely.
You do? Okay.
When you these forms tend to put your body in different positions than you typically get in a normal day, and therefore the expression "use it or lose it." Many of us don't use a lot of our body during a typical day, and so by daily going through some of these motions that move all parts of the body are going to help keep that part of the body in a reasonable shape. If it's not in shape, that's where the ache comes from.
Yeah, yeah. And so you might see some little aches and pains. I notice in my old age, I get, sitting in a chair too long, I get back pain, things like that. Those are things that are byproducts of this, right? You're going to be doing more stretching. Your posture might get better, things like that.
Absolutely, yep.
And what I think appeals to me is you could shut your door in your office and do this. We've just got a couple minutes left, but I'm curious, the part about holding the ball, I mean, that's really, what's the symbolism of that? Is it just holding that energy?
It's actually, as your mind quiets, you can start to feel in the palms of your hands. It'll feel either a tingling or a stickiness as you stretch the ball out. It's almost like it's a bubblegum balloon that you're pulling out, and you'll feel it pulling against the surface of your hand. And then when you compress it, it's like taking a balloon and trying to squeeze it. It's going to push back against your hands. But the mind needs to be quiet to be able to sense that. If it's not quiet, you're not going to be able to sense that. It's there all the time. That's why we focus on the ball.
And you learn to recognize it over time.
Yeah.
You say it so well. I really encourage people who don't understand to check out Dave's website. Dave, what's your website? Tell us how people can reach you.
So our website is www.cultivatingchi.org. Our phone number is 978-856-8118, or you can email us at info@cultivatingchi.org.
You can also find Dave's classes in our For Your Health magazine, as I mentioned before. That'll probably show up in your mailbox if you live in Greater Lowell. It's also at lowellgeneral.org. You can find it. He has several classes in there. They're affordable. It's accessible. If you're not sure, if you're intimidated, I invite you to try it. It really is things like this meditation and these Eastern philosophies. We are trying to be a better, more healthy and well society, and this is a great way to do it. So, Dave, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And we will see you next time on Complete Connected Care.